Hey there, how are you doing? If you clicked on this video, let me even take off my glasses so we can get a little more personal. It means you're also looking to become the CEO of your own life and don't know where to start. So I want to talk a little bit about how I became the CEO of my own life, okay? I was living on that famous autopilot. I took care of my family, my husband, my daughter, my house, everyone except myself. And I started to feel like I was just backstage in my own life, When you watch your life go by and you're just sitting there only watching and following along, not doing anything. And I didn't want that for myself. So I started to realize that I needed to become the CEO of my own life, and I wondered how I could do that. I started searching. I read psychology books. I read books on personal development, entrepreneurship, and financial education. So before I had that breakthrough, I saw myself as if I had to be that perfect mother, that present wife, that extremely competent professional. But I still kept feeling empty, tired, and completely directionless. The turning point came when I understood, and being the CEO of my own life isn't about controlling everything. It's about making conscious choices. It's about aligning my purpose according to my own timing, according to the energy I can make available at that moment for what I'm doing. I realized I could build something of my own, in my own way, at my own pace, in my own time. So all of this taught me 3 lessons. The first is that I need to listen to myself. In other words, stop living to please everyone. I started saying no a little more often. Before I used to say yes to everything. It was yes, yes, yes. And I would forget about my own wishes, about what I really wanted in that moment. There were times when I had to schedule going out with friends, with colleagues and all that. But in reality, all I wanted was to stay at home watching a movie with my daughter. So I started to listen to what I really wanted for myself, I also started to plan ahead. I wrote down on paper what I really wanted to experience, where I want to get to, what I need within a certain time, what my priorities are. I started writing everything down and always rereading it, because as you get to know yourself, you can't escape from what you planned for yourself. What I planned for myself, my routine, my weeks, my priorities, I started to plan, write down, and note everything. Another really cool thing is to take a stand. Aline, how do I do that? Learning to turn what I know into something that creates value and income. So in other words, I started to listen to myself. I started to say no to things that weren't aligned with my goals. I started to plan. I started to write down what I really wanted for myself, what I really want for my daughter, for my family, where I'm going. To allocate that time, how am I going to organize my routine in a way that I have time to do and experience what I truly want to live? Once I did that, I really started to take a stand, I started to take a firm position. This is what I want. So I need to learn. I need to take several courses, absorb all the content I can during my available hours, opportunities, so I can turn what I know into something that creates value and generates income for me. And that's exactly what I teach here on the channel. How to be the CEO of your own life with purpose, with freedom, where you can have time to live what you truly want, what you really need for yourself, to achieve your financial independence so that you have time to live your moments, to live your purpose with freedom, with clarity, with focus, and to learn how to say no to what doesn't suit you, to what doesn't get in your way, and start focusing on what is truly your goal, on what is really your focus, on where you want to get, Being the CEO of your own life, I confess, is a daily process. It's a daily learning experience. It's about making choices, Even when everyone is telling you to give up, it's necessary for you to make a choice, And that's what changed the game for me. And that's what I share here on the channel. If this video makes sense to you, share it with another woman who is also out there wanting to become the CEO of her own life, wanting to become the woman she desires to be, okay? Kisses, bye-bye.